Hi guys, I am so excited to be here. If you are catching this now, you're probably catching the replay, and if you are, please comment replay in the comment section. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I got a lot of information for you guys, and I cannot wait to share it with you. I'm gonna turn my light down just a little bit, so it's a little bit wonky today. But for those of you that don't know me, I am Joshua Michael, aka JMLBeautyDude. And Christina asked me to do a live today regarding color matching for your skin type. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to see if anybody is going to hop on. Say hi if you are here so that I know that you are here. I just want to make sure that my comments are working and all of that fun stuff. Hi, Katie. Hi, Jamie. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you, too. I'm so excited. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Pam. Hey, guys. Say hi if you're just hopping on. I'm so excited to do this training with you guys. I got a lot of information for you. And I just want to say thank you for asking for this training. I'm very excited to share what I know. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Abigail. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Christina. Okay, so I'm going to just dive right in. Hi, Michaela. Okay, so the first thing that I kind of want to touch on before, and I made notes because I want to make sure that I stay on track as much as possible while I'm doing this, because like I said, it's a lot of information. So I did make a list of all of the things. So aside from just color matching, aside from just finding your correct shade, I'm going to touch on some things to think about when you're recommending for yourself or for some of your clientele when you are doing a color match with them, because our foundations compositions are actually made up of different things for different skin types. And I'm going to kind of explain how all of those contribute to what you need to give, or I almost said prescribe like we're a doctor's office, but what you need to recommend to them based on their skin type. So, hi everybody that's hopping on. Thank you for hopping on. Okay, so as you guys know, we have eliminated a couple of foundations. I'm going to move this down just a little bit so that way my face isn't in the comments. We've eliminated a couple of our foundations. We no longer have the serum foundation or the Pata cream. We do, however, have Stay Matte. We have VFX Pro. We have BB, CC, and we also have our Tinted Moisturizer. So I'm just going to kind of break these down for you guys. I'm going to grab these so that I can show anyone that might be new that doesn't know what the components come in. So let's just dive on in. First thing that I want to talk about does regard color matching itself. So when we are color matching, we want to make sure that we are using a dry swatch to color match, because as foundation sits on the face, it actually oxidizes and changes color. So I'm going to just give you guys an example, and while I'm talking, I'm going to show you the difference. So this is VFX 01, and I am just going to leave this right here, and I probably should have used something else besides my finger. This is not even a foundation brush. But I just want to show you guys a little bit of the difference as this time goes on, okay? And I did not blend that out the best. And of course I cannot find there we go. So this is 01, it is still wet. And then in a couple minutes, I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to put more on next to that and show you the difference between a wet swatch and a dry swatch. So, and this may be knowledge that some of you already know as well, which is great. So the more we know, the stronger we are as a team. So moving on from that, I also want to touch on powders and the different uses for powders. I also want to talk about the skincare benefits. So I'm starting to repeat myself. Let's go, Josh. Get yourself together. Stop being nervous. So the first one that I want to talk about today is the BB cream. So this is Beauty Balm. Another really easy way to remember BB cream and what it is best for is Beauty Balm or Blemish Balm. So this is amazing for people that have acne that need to cover that acne. Now, there is a little bit of a difference though with how to apply this for someone that has oily skin and acne. Because if you have oilier skin, the CC cream may be better for you. But we're going to talk about the differences between the BB and the CC really, really quick, okay? Because that's a super hot topic. So the BB is great for concealing minor blemishes, redness, and things like that, like minor things around the face. So this is going to help conceal and take away this little redness that I have right here. It's going to help cover up, like I have right now, I have a couple of acne spots. That is going to be amazing for this. This is also infused with vitamins and minerals, so it's also skincare, moisturizer, and foundation, medium to full coverage foundation in one. Okay, this does not have primer benefits to it though, so you do still need to prime your face for this. And this is great for all. It is great for all skin types, but it is going to be the most beneficial for people that have drier skin because it has a lot more moisture components to it. So some of the things that it has, I do not know how to say this word. It's panoxynethrol, and that is the main ingredient in this that works for the best moisturizing components. So this is not going to dry your skin out or anything like that. This is going to give you a ton of moisture and give you those skincare benefits. Another thing that is great with this is do not take this out of context when you are explaining it to customers, because this is a really big no-no. We cannot classify ourselves as an SPF rated foundation with any of our products yet. But the ingredient in this that does contribute to the SPF benefits is titanium dioxide. So that is one of the main ingredients in this product. So it does give that slight benefit, but that's a whole nother training that I can get into another time if that's something that everyone is interested in. But moisture, huge, great for dry skin. You do not layer this under foundation. So some people do have huge success with this. Some people do have great success with putting this on and then putting VFX over it. But this is intended to be worn by itself. It is not intended to be layered underneath underneath foundation. CC, however, is. You can use CC cream underneath foundation or wear it by itself, but this is intended to wear alone. If you layer this, it can cause your foundation to break down throughout the day and become kind of flaky. So if you do this already and you've noticed that your foundation has become a little bit flaky throughout the day, maybe 4 to 6 hours after wearing, it is because this is not intended to be like basically a primer for your face or a primer for your foundation. It's meant to be left on its own in its own little world. It is a medium to full coverage foundation all by itself, okay? So that's the fun facts that I have about the BB, and this comes in light to medium, medium, and medium to dark, okay? Or wait, did I say that right? I think I just said that last one backwards. Light to medium, medium, and medium to dark. No, that's right. Okay, we're good. Okay, so if anybody has any questions about the BB, go ahead and put your questions in the comments and I will get back to those later. Or if I see them as I'm going, I will for sure answer these. So the next one that I want to talk about is the CC cream. So the CC cream is, oh, before I forget, the BB is a whipped foundation. That's why it's so lightweight. So when you use this product, it's not going to feel like a heavy foundation. It's going to be a very lightweight foundation. So that's another really great thing to talk to your audience about. So because it's whipped, it is not going to clog pores as much. It is going to set very lightly against the skin, which is why it's awesome for blemish control, because you're still allowing your skin to breathe while it is wearing its foundation. So no powder when you use the BB cream. No, you can totally use powder. I'm just saying don't layer it with other foundations because it will break down throughout the day. So, do you guys see how much darker this has already become? So for those of you that are just hopping on, we're also swatching, and I'm going to show you the difference between something that has already oxidized and a fresh cream swatch, basically. So when you're color matching, you want to make sure you use a dry swatch as opposed to a wet swatch. Okay? So, CC cream. So this is great for color corrector. That is what this stands for. CC cream stands for color corrector. So it is great for helping with concealing hyperpigmentation, evening skin tone, age spots, dark circles under the eye, acne scarring, things like that. So this is a great base to either wear by itself or under a foundation to color correct. So this will not break down throughout the day as you are wearing it. It is going to do an amazing job meshing and binding with the skin and your primer and any foundation or powder that you place over the top of it. So this is an awesome, awesome, awesome thing to have. Now, a neat fact about CC cream is it's fuller coverage than BB cream, but it is lighter weight. So this is basically, you know how I said that the BB is a whipped foundation, that's why it's so light? CC is basically double whipped. So it's even lighter, but it does more as far as color correcting and all of those things. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. But the BB and the CC both have great skincare properties to them. They are enriched with vitamins and minerals and all of the things. They're great for hydration. Now the CC, as opposed to the BB, this is amazing for oily skin. So there's a little bit of alcohol in this formula that helps with oil control throughout the day. There's other things besides alcohol in this formula that do help with oil control. But if you have super oily skin, this is going to be a lifesaver for you, okay? So let me make sure that I hit on all of those things that I wanted to talk about with that. Oh, also, just like with the BB, the lightness of it, it is great for helping with blemish control. So it is even lighter than the BB. So if you have someone that has oily skin and tons of breakouts, it's not only going to help conceal those redness areas, the redness in the face, it's also going to give the acne a chance to heal from the minerals in the formula, as well as breathe the air and do all of the things that it needs to do in order to heal without causing acne scarring. So those are the two BB and CC creams. Okay. Both can be set with powder if you'd like to set with powder. If you have dry skin, do not set this with powder. This also comes with, comes in light to medium, medium, and medium to dark. So if you are medium and you are pulling green when you put medium on your face, try medium to dark, because medium to dark is not going to pull that green pigment, okay? So that's another tip with this. Awesome. So going to the next thing I want to talk about is the Tinted Moisturizer. So our Tinted Moisturizer is a little bit different than other shelf brand tinted moisturizers. So our Tinted Moisturizer is actually rated as a primer as well. So this has a primer within the product, and it is basically a lighter version of a BB cream. So you're going to wear this by itself, just like you do with the CC, or with the BB cream. But it is basically a lighter version, and it's more hydrating. So both of our formulas that are going to separate from store brands with the BB and CC, I forgot to mention this, we have semi-matte finishes. So that is why it is great for all skin types, but it's just going to be a little bit better for oily and a little bit better for dry. But because these are both semi-matte formulas, which most major store brands do not do a semi-matte in these two formulas, they usually do a matte formula in the CC, and they usually do a dewy or semi-matte in the BB cream. So that is why we can encompass with our brand all skin types, because that they put together a semi-matte formula so that it can encompass all skin types. Okay, so back to the BFit Tinted Moisturizer. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But this formula has a lot of hydration to it. So this is going to give you a dewier finish. So it is basically a light BB cream, as I mentioned. It's primer infused, so you do not have to use a primer in order to wear this. It is sweat resistant. It does have long last wear. But in this one, as opposed to the BB and CC, this does not have intentional titanium dioxide in it. So there could be traces because it's all in the same factory. We produce this in the same factory. So there could be small traces of titanium dioxide. So when you go to the quick view of this ingredient, it will say may contain. It's just residual that's probably within the ingredients that were there. Okay. So this one does not have any like potential SPF in it. Again, we cannot claim that we have SPF in our products yet. We have to wait until we get the okay with the new formulas that will launch hopefully in the near future. So moist finish due to the primer and moisturizer. Okay, so another thing with the tinted moisturizer, because that it is powder, or it is primer infused and moisturizer infused, it's not going to leave any form of a matte finish at all, because that it your skin needs the hydration, especially since it's a primer. So since it's a primer, you don't want to dry your skin out, right? Your primer is not supposed to dry your skin out. It is supposed to hydrate and create a barrier on your skin. So that way you don't dry out, don't overproduce oils, etc., etc. Dun, dun, dun. So that is the Tinted Moisturizer. So if you guys have any questions about the Tinted Moisturizer, please put your questions in the comments. And if I see them, I will answer them, or I will get back to them if I do not get to them during this live. So next up, we have our Stay Matte Foundation, okay? Our Stay Matte Foundation is it's designed for oily skin. A lot of people that have dry skin do tend to still like this formula because of the finish. But just remember, when you are advertising this to your customers and you are talking to them, try to target the market more towards oily skinned customers, because this is going to help them with their oil control, which is then going to make their foundation last longer throughout the day, because the oil breaks down foundation. So finding the correct foundation for your skin type is extremely important in the satisfaction of your customer. Because if you're like, yeah, this foundation lasts all day, but they have dry skin and they don't use moisturizer or primer, and they don't have the right skincare routine to make sure that their skin is hydrated enough in order to wear this, it's gonna flake and it's not gonna last all day. So you need to really take into consideration the type of foundation that you're advertising to your customer base. So would you use a powder over BFit Tinted Moisturizer? You definitely can. If you are drier skinned, again, I just wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It can be worn by itself. All foundations can be worn alone. You do not have to use a powder in order to set a foundation. There's no rule book that says that. I have never seen a foundation that claims that you have to use a powder in order to set it. So, but yes, so this has ingredients that will help control help control excess oils. So another really great fact about the Stay Matte Foundation, though, is it does still contain glycerin, and glycerin is a natural moisturizer. So it is basically a sugar composed ingredient, and sugars help with acne control, and they also help with moisturizing. So you're not just gonna dry completely out with this foundation, but still make sure that it is targeted towards your more oily, normal to oily clientele. So this is the Stay Matte. So the next one is our most popular foundation, okay? So this is the VFX Pro foundation. This is great for all skin types. They have done an amazing job on this formula when they created it. It is more of a matte natural finish. It is not matte. It is not a dewy finish. It is a matte natural finish. So it's not going to make you super, super glowy, and it's not going to make you super, super matte either. It has amazing blurring components to it that help refract light to give you that nice blur effect like a filter does. So I was looking at the ingredient list of this when I started, and it is an awesome formula. It gives your skin moisture. It doesn't dry it out. It doesn't overdoify your skin either. So this is an awesome product for all skin types. So you can't go wrong with this when you are telling people which ones to get. Now, one tip that I do have though is this formula is a cream-based formula. So it is a little bit is thicker. It is full coverage. It is full coverage. So not saying that someone necessarily cannot use this, but someone that has more textured skin might prefer something more like the CC cream, because the CC cream is going to get more into like wrinkles and textures and things like that, as opposed to this one's going to take a little bit more work to get blended into those wrinkles and blended into those skin imperfections than the CC will. So that is just a tip. That is just a personal tip from me to you guys. It's not set in stone or anything like that. It is still an amazing product for people that do have textured skin and wrinkles. I'm just making a recommendation. So those are our foundations and some fun facts about those. So another thing that I want to touch on gets more into the actual color matching side of things. So we just put this VFX 01 on my cheek at the beginning of this live, right? So it's pretty dry right now. I'm going to show you the difference between this now being oxidized versus putting something that is fresh right next to it, so that you can see the difference in color. Do you guys see how much lighter this color is compared to what has already oxidized? This is why it is so important for us to match with a dry swatch. Do not just take this and put it on your wrist and say, oh yeah, this is my color, and walk out of the store if you are at a store, or when you are color matching whoever you are color matching. Make sure that you are using a dry swatch. There are dry swatches on our graphic pages. Your sponsor and you can definitely find some dry, non-cream swatches in order to help color match the people that you are trying to color match, okay? If it looks wet in the swatch, do not use it to color match, okay? So, oxidized versus non-oxidized. So it is a very, very, very big difference. So I'm going to wipe this off because I feel like a weirdo having just my cheek done. So, and this goes for all foundations. This goes for all foundations. Now, another thing to consider when you are color matching someone is their undertones. Their undertones are going to be a very big impact on the correct color shade that they are going to need. So VFX, for example, comes in a very wide range of shades. I do not have them all memorized for what tones they all are. I do for the most part with the lighter shades, but I don't necessarily with all of them. So when you're looking at a foundation and you're like, oh yeah, this person looks like they would be a 00. So when you are color matching, it is important to get a picture of that person. And I'm going to move up just a little bit so you guys can see my chest a little bit more. So do you see this redness that I have right through my chest line? So this for me personally varies day to day. So one day I might be 00 and some days I might be 04. And I'm going to explain that right now. So let's say that I'm getting ready to put my foundation on and I am 00. 00 is a neutral toned foundation. So neutral tones usually have blue and green veins in their wrists. Neutral tones usually burn or tan. So it's a toss-up. They'll either burn then tan after they're done burning, or they could still hold a very nice tan or a light tan, and they could still very well burn. So that's going to be more of your neutral toned people. That's going to be what their skin type is mostly like. That's going to be more of the neutral tone. So that's going to be the VFX 00, the 02, the 03, the 07, the 09. So those are our neutral toned foundations, okay? So when you're color matching, take that into consideration. Now, for more of the warm tones, which are going to be the yellow undertones. So those people usually have green veins. They have more of an olive complexion, things like that. You're going to want to use the more warm or neutral tones in order to match their foundations. So warm tones are going to be your 01, your 08, and then your neutrals are going to be the 02, 03, 00, 07, and 09, okay? So those are going to be your warm tones. So you're going to notice some of our foundations can pull both tones. They can pull more than one tone. Not all of them, but some of them can. So next we have our cool tones, which is going to tie back into what I just started this whole thing out with, was some days I might be 00, some days I might be 04. So if someone has redness like I do in this area, not necessarily just on their cheeks, you can have blushing and still be neutral toned. But when you are really getting into your skin on your chest, your upper chest, that's going to be your indicator that, ooh, I have a red undertone to my skin. So that is going to be 04 and 07 for your skin tone or for your foundations. So if you're 00 or 01, but you have more blushing down here, then, or not blushing, but red undertones down here, the 04 is going to be right in the middle of 01 and 00. So that's like the red tone equivalent of 00 and 01. And then 07 is basically 02 and 03. It's right in the middle of 02 and 03. So even though that 07 in the catalog looks like it's a super dark color, it's actually pretty equivalent when it's on someone that has red undertones to 02 or 03. So do not don't go off of this swatch in the catalog. And again, this is a wet swatch that we're looking at in the catalog. Don't go off of this truffle color as the true tone to that foundation, okay? So, if anybody has any questions about that, please let me know. Another thing to consider as well in the Stay Mattes, I'm just going to kind of run down the list of the Stay Mattes tones. 01 is cool tones, 02 is neutral tones, 03 is cool, 04 is warm, 05 is warm, 06 is cool, 08 is cool, and 09 is neutral, okay? So someone that is 01 warm, most of the time, not all of the time, is going to match up with 01 in VFX. So, but I have seen 3 match with 01 before as well. So that person probably was a little bit more neutral as opposed to warm for why they pulled 03. But it's just another thing to consider when you're matching your foundation tones with people. Okay, really look at those tones. Ask your audience what their undertones are. So another one is the powders. So the powders also have undertones to them. And you're going to see that when you're reading the powder and it says warm beige or neutral or porcelain or all of those things. It's telling you in the name of the formula, you guys, what undertones it goes with. So when you're looking at warm beige, that's more for people that have yellow undertones, yellow or olive skin tones, things like that. So 01 is a cool tone, 2 is warm, 3 is neutral, 4 is neutral, 5 is cool, 6 is warm, 101 is cool, 102 is cool, and 103 and 104 are warm or golden. And I'm pretty sure that one of those last 2 are gone now. I can't remember which one that it is. But that's another thing to think about as well. So the last thing that I want to touch on before I let you guys go is the need for powder. Do you need powder? What is the purpose of powder? Which powders are good for what? So when you are just joining, so you're saying yellow is more warm and pink is, yes. So your cool tone foundation is going to correct that redness. And your warm tone foundation is going to complement your yellow undertones. So, yes, take notes, guys. And I will go back through the comments and I will for sure kind of touch on all of these again. But the need for powder, that is another thing that I want to touch on because that a lot of people ask me about this. Do you need powder to set foundation? As I said earlier in this video, no, you do not. But there is a difference between transparent powder and the pressed powders or the terracotta powders. So pressed powders do give slight oil control. They give slight oil control, but they are mainly there for pigment. So they are there for helping additional color correction as well as giving you a matte finish and slight oil control. But if you are trying to truly control oil, use the transparent powder. It is a different formulation. It does not color correct necessarily, but it does help with oil control. So in those oilier areas, so let's say you have an oily T-zone. Let's say you just have an oily T-zone, so that's the only thing that you need oil control in. Don't put powder on your outer cheeks. Don't put powder on your outer forehead. Just use that transparent powder in those areas that are a little bit more shiny. That's okay. There's no rule that says because that you use powder, you have to use it all over your entire face. You can just target those areas that need that oil control or that shine control. And then when you touch up throughout the day, if you don't need additional color correction, don't take a pressed powder to do your touch-ups. Take that transparent powder, that translucent powder, and use that for your oil control when you are touching up your face to eliminate shine throughout the day. Because that pressed powders are thicker. They're thicker, so if you keep layering that powder on your face, throughout the day over and over and over and over again, it is going to start to build and look cakey. Whereas transparent powder is more refined, it's thinner, it's lighter weight, and it will absorb oil, control shine, and you can put it over the top of your pressed powder if you don't need any more color correcting from the pressed powder. So anyways, that is pretty much all that I have for you guys for this specific training. I hope that it helped you. If it did, please share it with your team so that way someone new with makeup might gain some benefit for it, or even some people just need some reminders for some of these things if they have already known about it. But, you know, sometimes we just forget in the 9 to 5 day that we have everything going on. So again, if you're just hopping on, I am Joshua Michael, aka JMLBeautyDude, and thank you, Christina, for having me on this training. I hope it was beneficial. There are so many components to makeup, so please do not think that I'm telling you that you're doing your makeup wrong if you do it a little different for other reasons. That's not what I'm saying at all. These are just tips and facts based on research and finding out the ingredient list that we have with our products and things like that is a great start for someone that is just starting out in makeup and needs that little extra guidance in what they need to do. So share this with your team, share this with people that would find benefit from it. I had a great time with you guys tonight. I will catch up on all of the comments, and thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great day. Until next time, guys. Bye.